What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the very first episode of our new podcast, Unsealed. Today, I have with me a very special guest. You know, the ministry is located in the city of Sunrise, and it will only be right for us to start this off with the commissioner,
Ooh.
the assistant deputy mayor
Ooh.
of the amazing city of Sunrise. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Who are you? Talk to the people.
Who am I?
Yeah.
Really? That's my first question. Who am I?
Like your name. Don't get deep on me. Like, geez. Your name.
Okay, so my name is Latoya Clarke, and I'm a commissioner here in the city of Sunrise. My official title is assistant deputy mayor in the city.
Awesome. I met assistant deputy mayor at the grand opening of our ministry here, and I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. You know, this is
Nervous? Though?
yeah.
Seriously?
I was nervous, like, okay,
Palm sweating nervous?
okay, no, I'm
Okay.
never that nervous. But listen, I didn't know, like, okay, who is this person? How are they going to react to us? But when I met her, she was extremely down to earth, kind. But as I continued to get to know
One
her,
compliment adjective? That's all I get? One adjective? Kind?
I was about to
Okay, go ahead.
add
All right,
more. As you all can see, as I've continued to get to know her, she's very talkative, abrasive. What other?
Assertive,
Yeah.
affirmative,
Okay.
giving all the,
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. Rude. No, just playing. Just playing. But no, she was extremely kind. And actually, the reason we are sitting here today is because of her. And I say that because when we first met, I told her some of my ideas I had concerning being planted in Sunrise. And I actually wasn't going to get anything started this soon. And when I spoke to her recently, she's like, okay, so what's going on with the podcast? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you told me you were going to have a podcast started. What's the holdup? I'm like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. She's like, no, you have everything that you need. There's no reason to delay. Get started now. And I'm like, okay. So we are here today, honestly, because of her pushing me. So thank you. I appreciate it. And it's only right that you open up this new venture for us.
So, did you have everything that you need?
C.
Okay, so then therefore...
C being yes. I'm on Duolingo. Shout out Duolingo.
They're not a paid sponsor. You cannot
They're not
be
paid
shouting out.
yet, but I have to shout them out so they know I use them. Now the next episode, they're going to be a paid sponsor.
Okay, then fine.
Hello.
All right. Free promo.
There we go.
Everybody's giving out free stuff this
That's
year.
right. You have to give a little to get a lot.
Okay.
Hello.
Give a little to get a lot.
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
There we go.
All right.
So, yes, I did have everything I needed, so to speak.
Yeah, because then you didn't have me as a guest, so you technically
That was one of the
had
things
most
I
of the
did
things.
not need, but, I'll let you.
Well, I'm your first guest, so you kind of did need me.
Need is very strong.
I know. Give a little and get a lot.
Okay.
Your
all right.
words. I'm only affirming you.
Oh, okay. I'll go with that.
Okay.
So let's hop right in because I already see, we can do banter all day.
I know we could.
Yes. But we need to get into some of these questions.
I feel
And I
like
have a lot of
you
them.
have so many questions on those sheets. I'm kind of like nervous.
But before I get started, is there anything off limits?
Everything is off limits. This is going to be a very boring conversation. It's going to be in
God
and out.
God has
I
to
know.
grab your tongue.
I know. And I'm
Stop
just like,
lying.
why do you want to stop me at this moment? I was on a roll.
Yep. But let's get started. Are you ready?
All right. I mean, I have no choice right now.
Good.
I'm
So
sitting
don't
here.
think long. Whatever comes to mind first, all
2
right?
seconds. All right.
That's
go.
it. So your story begins in Jamaica
In Jamaica, yes.
and eventually leads to public leadership here in South Florida. What parts of your upbringing shaped the woman and leader you are today?
Wow. First question is deep in my life already.
All in your business.
I know. So I grew up in Jamaica. I grew
Mm-hmm.
up in a very small rural town in Jamaica where the whole premise of nobody gets out of that town. Like
Mm.
everybody kinds of just live there. And this is like the first generation of anybody who's actually done anything with themselves,
Wow.
right? And so there was about six of us growing up around the same age, and we kind of just decided that we were going to get out of the town. We couldn't live there forever. So for me, what shaped my motivation to really be in any form of anything is really try to get out of the town. We had to walk 2 miles to get to the first place where we could take a taxi to actually
Wow.
get anywhere. And at a certain point, we decided that we just weren't going to live like that anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, having to go through those struggles, is that what kind of gave you that drive to come here and make that type of stamp on this community? What was it?
So, when you're a child, you don't really look at anything as a struggle. So,
Right.
like, while looking back, you could see that it was
Mm-hmm.
adversity that you were going through. To me, it was just like a way of life, a way of just
Mm.
getting by, a way of just living. And I just didn't want to live like that anymore. When I got to this country, it was a whole different type of lifestyle, which I wasn't used to in any way, shape, or form. But I did see individuals that were less off and less fortunate and needed resources. And that kind of like reminded me of what it was back home and how can I make a difference in that world to those individuals.
Mm. So, you spoke about when you moved here, right? So, you moved to the United States at 14.
14.
Okay. So, what was the hardest adjustment in that transition, and how did it shape your perspective on opportunity and resilience?
So the hardest thing was when I got here and they wanted me to put me back in one grade, which was very difficult
Of
because then
course.
I would have graduated high school a long time ago. And so my favorite subject is mathematics. And so when I was in high school, I ended up starting teaching mathematics with my math teacher to everybody else. That was like my free period to go around to the different classrooms and do that because I already excelled on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't necessarily need to do another math subject. So for me, I think my biggest challenge was really accepting that the level of education here was quite different. And it made me have to like learn things I already learned, which was kind of like frustrating. But it led me to
Mm.
dual enrollment and all these other advantages that I had.
Nice. So, before politics, you spent more than 20 years in healthcare leadership. What leadership lessons from that world prepared you for your public office?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So I got into healthcare because when I was younger, my grandmother passed away from lung cancer.
Mm.
And she had a physician who was not willing to tell her the information or give her proper education of how to treat herself. So she ended up having like a heart attack and died really quickly right after. So my whole point in being healthcare was because I really wanted to make a difference with how information was delivered
Mm-hmm.
to patients so that they wouldn't feel as if that everything was so rushed and pressured onto them. So that is the reason why I went into healthcare. But my biggest learning or leadership role there was when I was like 18. All of a sudden, I was like given a supervisor role. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm
At
18.
18?
I'm 18, and
Wow.
there were individuals there that were like 40 and 50 that I
Of
had to like
course.
really be a leader to, which was very daunting for me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a quote that I learned that says, attitude reflects leadership. And so that gave me the courage to understand that what do I want the persons that report to me, how did they react to me? And so I had to be that leader to show them what it means to really react,
Mm-hmm.
how it needs to carry themselves, what the responsibility level was, and that I had to be that person that modeled it in order for them to follow it. And so that is the thing that carries me in everything that I do, making sure that what I am modeling is really a reflection of who I am and what I want to see in you. So if I don't want to see it, I shouldn't be doing it.
Mm, that's really good. Say that last part one more time. If you don't want to
If
see it,
then I shouldn't be
you
doing it
shouldn't be doing it. Can you apply that to your everyday life though? Like
every day.
even really do you?
Yeah,
Even in our
in
conversations,
our
you keep that?
conversations.
Oh,
Because if I don't want you to lie to me,
yeah.
I wouldn't be lying to you.
I hope
If
you're
I don't,
really hearing everything you're saying.
I am. Am I lying to you? I know you just didn't.
No, but I
Yeah,
really
no,
like that.
it's important that you really be a reflection of what you're modeling. You
Mm,
have to be that person at all times, and you're not always going to be perfect. So sometimes you may fail to be accurate of how you are really displaying something. And
mm,
there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, or this is not the best reflection of me today, but also be able to reflect that. And how I learned that also was when I was younger. I remember I lost my money and I was on a bus and I was going home, and the bus conductor asked me for the fare, and I was like, I searched everywhere and I couldn't find that money. And I was
mm,
wondering like where it could have possibly been. I obviously had lost it somewhere. But my reaction to the conductor wasn't well, and it was primarily because I was also eating the chips, and the lady was like, "Oh, she's eating the chips. She spent the money, and she bought the chip, and this is
mm,
why she doesn't have any fare."
mm,
And I was like, "No, that's not the truth," and I couldn't articulate that accurately, and so I got frustrated and I was angry. And the bus conductor says that he would never bring me again. And I
wow.
remember that. I was like 10 or 12 or something. I don't remember. You'll never bring me again. And I was like devastated.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a flood. And he remembered and he never picked me up on that flood. And I was like, wow.
Wow.
So that tells you your attitude really reflects leadership. Like,
Mm-hmm.
your attitude determines your outcome. And
Yeah.
so I never want to have a bad taste in anybody's mouth again, that they would actually take it to the point where they would refuse to do something for me.
Yeah.
And so I consciously try all the time to, I'm not a people pleaser, but I would definitely try to accurately display my emotions and my thought
Mm-hmm.
process so that they can come off well.
No, and that's the truth. A lot of times, our actions, there's always some sort of reaction, and then there's a consequence, be it good or bad. And so I relate to that when you speak on making sure that you don't work towards leaving a bad taste in people's mouth. Even though people will be people, they will say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, you know who you are and what that interaction was between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is definitely important. And that leads us into this next question.
You're still on one page. I
Yeah,
just don't
absolutely.
understand. Okay. All right, go ahead.
So, what is one misconception people have about city government that you wish more residents understood?
That nothing happens overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it is the longest process change ever. I mean, you can vote on something today, and 10 years later, it comes to pass. And I think that everybody thinks instantaneously it's going to happen tomorrow, and it's not. It's just on the books. We got to fund it. We got to make all these rules come to pass. We have to pass all these other um, bids. You have to go out. You have to make everything public. But there's many steps to achieve one goal, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very difficult sometimes to articulate that. I myself did not realize how long it would take to actually get things done, but it definitely is a long process, and um, it is something that I wish everyone had the opportunity to learn or to see or to observe or even ask questions before they make um, suggestions that leaders are not doing anything. Because it's not
Mm-hmm.
that they're not doing anything, but by the time they even come out of office, it takes like another like 4 years before that even became.
Mm.
And so it's important to give your leaders grace and understand that yes, they are working on it, and try to ensure that you follow up, and ask them if they need help, because sometimes we also need help to get things accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And it is when you're sitting on a commission and you have 5 individuals there, it's a majority vote. They may not necessarily agree with a decisions that you want to take, or they may
Mm-hmm.
want to amend it in some way, shape, or form. And so you have to think about everybody has a different initiative that they are trying to work towards. And it's really about understanding that it is not a one person,
Yeah.
it's really a team that really gets things done. Necessarily just city leaders, but government in general
Yeah.
is about really giving them some grace. Now, if they made bad decisions, it's a whole different ballgame. But
Of course.
things that are in that view of that's coming down the pipeline, just give them some grace.
Grace is necessary.
It is necessary in
Absolutely.
all things.
In all things. So, talk to me about that transition. We're talking about you being in office now, right? Talk to me about that transition between your 20 years in healthcare and then what led you into public service, that official title.
So I've been in public service pretty much my whole life. So I am a part of the East Sunrise Residents Association, and we have made significant changes or asked for many changes within the east side of Sunrise for years. I've sit on that board. And when it came to 20 something years in healthcare, was like, I wanted a change, wasn't sure what that change was going to be. I was sitting at home one day and God was like, this is what your next move is going to be. And I'm like, I'm not really trying to be in office. This is not
Wait, wait,
something,
wait. God told you this is what your next move
this
is
was my
going to
next
be.
move.
Wow.
This is my next move.
Wow.
And if you see how my campaign went, you kind of realize that it wasn't necessarily a me thing. I was not necessarily out there as much as individuals were. And I really only had 4 people on my campaign team that really
Wow.
did it all because the city of Sunrise is at large. So you have to get votes from everybody. And so in my 4-person team, we really walked out the entire Sunrise. We really were dedicated to make this happen. And so it was important for what we were doing to be as effective as possible. And so we really mapped it out line by line. I didn't even know there was apps at that time. We were just taking up the map and we were just looking and just walking and really trying to be as effective as possible. And so with that 4-person team, we were able to really get as much word out there as possible and really impact the community. So it was really God who really gave the vision to make it happen because little quiet shy Latoya is not that person at all to be knocking on anybody's door or even
So
walking
you
at
all
a.
were actually like door
Oh
knocking.
yeah, we were door knocking.
Wow.
I mean, door knocking to the point where I was like, one, I'm amazed that we have so many ring cameras in the city. I was like, whoa, everywhere you go, you have one, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm actually amazed how friendly the residents are in the city of Sunrise. I really did not encounter anyone yelling, screaming, or cursing throughout the time that I was really campaigning or door knocking. I really encountered a lot of people who were asking questions, who really wanted to know what a commissioner were, being able to really see who their commissioner is. And to this day, I've met so many people who are friends of mine who have really stuck with coming out to the activities and all the different venues and really say, hey, Latoya, how are you doing? And that makes me proud that my walk was not in vain, right? And to really see the support of the community was really important and impactful to me.
Amazing. So you made history becoming assistant deputy mayor as a Jamaican born woman. What
Also, the
res-
first Black woman, too.
Also so not just Jamaican descent, but also
The
a woman of
first
color,
Black
black woman.
woman, yes.
Absolutely amazing. Now, what responsibility comes with being a first?
So a first is a very strenuous. I've done a lot of firsts in my life, right? The first person in my family to go to college. I am the first person in my department when I was at the hospital to be Black, to be in that
Wow.
role. So there's a lot of firsts that I've done that has brought a lot of weight to the my life. But this first is historical. And so, believe it or not, I wasn't even thinking about that when I was running. It did not really cross my
Right, you were just
mind.
obeying God.
Yeah,
God
I
said do
really,
it, and you're doing
yeah,
it.
I was not really thinking about that until the night that I won. And my friend was on the phone with me and he was like, you just became the first Black African American Jamaican
Mm,
person to win. And I was like, wow. I really, it was not one of the things that I was really thinking about at that
right.
point. And so I am proud to do
Mm-hmm.
that. But it comes with a big onerous to be responsible for making sure that the way you conduct yourself, the way you operate is really a reflection of being a woman of color, but being a woman in general, because you have to be able to show strength without being, arrogant or
Overbearing. Mm-hmm.
disrespectful, or, the areas where sometimes women don't necessarily get that quality of share. So it comes with a lot of weight. There's a lot of stress when you think deep into it.
Mm-hmm. I'm
But when
sure.
you are just living your natural life,
Yeah.
nothing is more natural than just being basking in who you are.
Mm-hmm. You said something that really stuck out to me. You didn't even realize the history you was making in running, and a lot of times people only do certain things for what they're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
So that takes me to this next question. Many people enter politics chasing power. Your story seems to begin with community service.
Hmm.
What moment made you realize you were called to public leadership? And I know you may say, God told me to do this,
Hmm.
but if he told you to do it, you were called. So what moment made you realize you were called?
So when I was like 15, 14, I was out there feeding the homeless.
Wow.
I've been always organizing groups together and we would go out there and give care packages. This
Mm-hmm.
is just a natural thing that
Yeah.
I do at
Mm-hmm.
all times, right? I'm always at my wedding, we're voted the most likely to go broke because we're going to give everything away. Because that's just
Just giving.
naturally
Yeah.
who
A
we
giver.
are. We're
Mm-hmm.
just like givers. And so to be a real servant of the people is to be a person who really understand what it means to be selfless, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not in any way, shape, or form. This is a big drop in my life to really take on the responsibility of being able to be responsible for so many people in our community. We have 100,000 plus people that lives in the city of Sunrise.
A
It's
100,000 plus.
yeah, it's a
So the
big
views on this video should be over 100,000. She just
hun-
said it's a hundred
hun-
thousand plus
a
people.
100,000 plus people.
Tune in to see your commissioner, my people.
Yeah,
Assistant Deputy Mayor. Let's go. 100,000.
a hundred
I didn't know it
thousand
was that
plus.
many people in Sunrise.
Yes, yes. Sunrise is huge.
Jeez. I see now.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
100,000. So this next question, what message do you hope young girls, especially immigrant daughters, receive when they see someone like you in leadership?
Um, I would like to think that they would see hope.
Mm-hmm.
They would see the possibility that the sky is the limit, that you don't have to limit yourself in any way, shape, or form, and that you have the ability to soar. And that also what you carry is worthy, right? I also believe that your strength is your culture, and it is something that not to be hidden or to be ashamed of, but to be celebrated and to bring to the table. Oftentimes we are forced to submiss or to suppress things about ourselves because we have to be comfortable in rooms. And I believe in order to be authentic, you have to bring your whole self. And whole self means you can't hide versions of you
Yeah.
that takes away or strips parts of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that they would see that, and I would hope that I represent that in ways that are positive, that would demonstrate that everything is possible.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I asked that question a certain way because it is Women's History Month, but your story actually is genderless. You're an immigrant who came to another country, and you are now in public office. That can be inspiring to a young girl, a young man, So amazing, amazing story. But I want to shift gears a little bit. You are a believer,
I am.
which is major, when it comes to leading in politics and also leading your life under the direction of God. How do you balance that? A lot of times people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be a believer in politics because they don't believe in God and there's no God in it." How do you balance that life, those two worlds?
So I think of it as like Jesus himself, right? He
Mm-hmm.
usually give parables in order to teach us his message, right? And one of those things was saying, render unto Caesar what is Caesar and render unto God what is God. And I believe that when you are a person that believes in Christ, that you have to be able to navigate his beliefs in the things that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said about bringing your whole self to anything that you do, I believe that when I'm making decisions for the people. And that's what Jesus is. He's
Yeah.
for the people, he is for ensuring that the way of life of everyone is substance and that it's treated with fairly. Whether or not you believe in him or not does not mean that you get partial treatment because he gives you the choice. It's free will, whether you come to him or not.
Mm-hmm.
He still wants to make sure that the rules and the laws apply to everyone, that they have the opportunity to come to him and
Yeah.
know of him. And then if you choose not to, then you choose not to. But
Mm-hmm.
that does not mean that you should be treated other, right? Because you do not believe with
Right.
him.
That's amazing, and I love it. I
Yeah.
like how you balance and you put it all together. This is unsealed, so
Unsealed.
let's go a little deeper.
Mm.
Um, you've suffered loss in your life. You've suffered loss, and I don't know if you want to share that loss with anyone that's watching, but how did you make it past that and continue to become the lady, the woman that you are today?
So I have had a lot of losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have my grandmother who passed away. Well, all my grandmothers passed away. My grandfathers passed away. But I also have a husband that passed away as well. And I believe honestly that my husband that passed away really shaped really who I was.
Mm,
I think that when I was younger, I was so career driven. I was so motivated to just do everything. I did everything really early. I moved out really early. I bought a house really early. I started a career really early. I got all my degrees really early. By the time I'm 25, I kind of looked back and be like, wait, I've already achieved the house, already achieved the degrees, always achieved the things that I really wanted,
mm-hmm.
right? I got the car, I got all this stuff, and I realized that, I really didn't have substance behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think when we got married, it was a turning point to say, okay, you need to focus on something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that getting married 6 months later, he would have had a heart attack, and then he subsequently got diagnosed with cancer, and that he subsequently passed away. And that was traumatic in itself
I'm
because
sure.
I became a caregiver, right? And
Mm,
it also exposes the inequality of healthcare. It was very, very daunting, but I really respected my employers and my boss at the time who really gave me the foundation to be able to work and take care of him at the same time, which was very difficult because he was in the hospital for a whole year,
wow.
bedridden, and being able to take care of him gave me a sense of love beyond what I ever experienced. And so I really am really honored to have been his caregiver. I
Yeah.
really honored to be able to take care of him because I did not necessarily see caring for a person in that level before. And that helped me to have so much compassion for other people right now and be see what they're going through and understand and be able to empathize with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my viewpoints may differ a lot from other individuals
Mm-hmm.
only because
Of what you've been
I've
through.
had that experience
Yeah.
where I've seen love, loss, and success on so many different levels at my very young age, and that I've learned to appreciate them all. and understand where they fall in its place.
Yeah. So let's walk this timeline because you kind of mentioned it, but I want everyone to truly understand what you just said. After getting married, you said 6 months
Six
later.
months later, I
That's when
remember
the
walking
decline
in.
started.
6 months later, the
Wow.
decline started. I remember walking into the doctor's office. I remember I have bad experience with doctors.
Hmm.
And I remember he said, just go home because he's just going to just die one day. There's nothing I can do for him.
The
I,
doctor said this.
yeah. And I give the doctor credit because we were at so many different doctors trying to figure out what
Yeah.
was wrong with him. Couldn't figure it out. And he's
Mm.
like, he was honest enough to say, I have no idea. And oftentimes physicians let you feel like, you're crazy and, you
Right.
don't know what.
That's
But
true too.
he just said, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what is wrong.
Wow.
And I also believe God was on our side, right? We had 3 wonderful years. And I say wonderful with, the emphasis of how wonderful it could be. You're
Of
going through
course.
cancer.
Yeah.
But we met a doctor. We went to University of Miami. And it just so happened the doctor who specialized in what my husband had literally just moved to University of Miami. He was in a different
Wow.
country. And he literally just moved there
To Miami.
to Miami
Wow.
and was able to tell us what he had. And I was like, we spent so much money going through all these different expensive tests, and it was just a blood test that determined
Mm.
what he had, which was something very, very rare called amyloidosis.
Hmm.
Um, and it attacked all his internal organs. So all of them were failing at the same time. Bear in mind,
Wow.
this was a person who was in the military, running up and down, doing all these different things his entire
So
life,
essentially healthy.
essentially healthy. Except
Wow.
for one day I ran faster than him. And there was no way I should have ran faster than
Hmm.
him. If y'all know me, no way. No way I should be running faster than him. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and that's how we found out something was wrong.
So after suffering that loss, where were you in your life as far as career? Had you already begun to make that transition into politics, or were you still in the healthcare world?
I just want to let you know, politics was a year and a half ago. When I decided to run in 2024 was the first time I ever thought about politics.
Wow.
First time. First time.
So to all the people out there, it doesn't take God long.
No, he does
It
not.
doesn't take God long. When you act in obedience, the wheels
Yeah.
start turning. So you weren't even thinking about
No, I was
politics.
not thinking about this. Everybody has said, "Oh, you should grow." No, I'm not. No, because public life is public life, and I like quiet life. So I was never thinking about this
Wow.
type of public life.
But see, a lot of times people will see where you are now and they're like, oh, they were planning and putting the pieces together for all of this time. That's not the story.
That's not the
God said
story.
go, and you went.
God said go, and I went. And you know, politics are very, very tricky. My friends call it politricks. It's a very tricky world. And so, even in terms of being running, you had to find out people's true intentions
Mm-hmm.
really early. And so finding that out was very, very harsh. I was like, wow, I couldn't even
Mm-hmm.
believe people would be like switching on you like that. And so I was very nervous about it. And at one point, I just kind of stopped running altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was praying. I was like, God, you said I should do this. You made me put my life out here. Like, I was not looking
Mm.
for
Yeah.
this. You made me put my life out
Yeah.
here. And all the friends that I had, they're like, dropping left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to help me do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden I said, God, if this is your will, you are going to send all the people that I need to make this possible.
Yeah.
You are going to allow me to be victorious because you said this. This is
Mm-hmm.
not me saying this. This was you said this. And whatever your will for my life is, and for whatever reason I need to be in this role, whomever I'm supposed to be helping, whatever I'm supposed to be doing to make that possible, you would make it come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And instantaneously. And when I say instantaneous, it's Jesus versions of
Of
instantaneously,
course.
right? um, People started coming into my world that led me on the path to the right direction where I was able to be victorious. And so I really, when I say this was a Jesus move, I really mean it, because I
Wow.
really could not have done it without his help and without him guiding me, because I didn't know what I was doing. I
Yes.
still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just following his leading, and he's giving me the right path and the right people every single day that I'm moving forward, and opportunities, even our connection.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily connect that well with a lot of people.
Right.
So I think that he has just been steering and guiding, and I'm just so grateful for his will.
Amazing. So we have two questions because I don't want
Ooh,
to hold you
two
too
questions.
long. So just two more questions, right? So behind the title of commissioner is a human being. What do people misunderstand about you the most?
That's a very good question. I don't, what people misunderstand about me the most? I think sometimes I give one word answers, and because they don't understand, like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm not going to like give you step by step of everything, because I don't really know what the step by step is going to look like. And so sometimes my response to individuals is that, yes, I'll take care of it. And they probably think I'm not telling the truth or that I'm not working
It's
on
just too
it.
straightforward
It's
for
too
them.
straightforward, right? And but I'm a person that I will follow up. So if I can't make it happen, I'll go back and be like, hey, this is why I can't make it happen. But I think a lot of people, because I just give very short responses, that it's not necessarily the best for them. They want like detailed, long answers, and that is not me,
Got it. Got it. So this is the last question, right?
allegedly.
Allegedly. But seriously, last question. When you look at the future of Sunrise, what legacy do you hope to build in this city?
So I love the city of Sunrise. It's often reason why I haven't moved. I love to see how it is progressing nicely, and how it is very communicative, and the culture of everyone here is just so, vibrant, and it shows up in the way how the houses look, the businesses that are here. You can pretty much get any kind of food from any kind of place here. It is very, very cultural oriented, but it's also progressive. And you can see in the ways how we are building and how we are developing each community. And so the legacy that I want to leave is just to be able to be a unified city where you can feel comfortable from wherever you are. Whoever comes here should be like, wow, this is a city that I want to live in. And so I want to make sure that's something that is maintained. And if it's not realized yet, then it needs to be realized now, that all the other cities, residents would want to move to City of Sunrise or come here, shop here, eat here, play here, because this is the place to be.
This is the place to be. You heard it here first with our deputy mayor, assistant deputy mayor, commissioner, Latoya Clarke. What is on the horizon for you?
Oh, what's on the horizon for me? Well, officially today,
Uh-huh.
I'm your new co-host.
Boom!
Ooh.
Isn't that amazing? Like who would have thunk it?
I
In my
tell
very
you.
country voice, who would have thunk it? That just from meeting and expressing what it is that I had an idea to do, we would click. And I don't click often with people. I'm very
No, do
cordial to a lot of
I.
people, and I know you don't. Yeah, so it's a God ordained situation. And thank you for accepting that title to add to all of your other titles. Now you have co-hosts of this amazing podcast. So thank each of you.
Ooh, no, 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 no.
What?
What's the name of our podcast?
Unsealed.
Ooh. All right.
So in advance, thank each of you for your likes, comments, what is it?
Share.
Shares, subscribe.
Subscribed.
Yeah. All of those things. We need you to do it. We love you. Thank you again.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. She will be co-hosting with me. We have some amazing, amazing guests this month for
Can't
Women's
wait.
History Month. And then moving forward, we have a lot of ideas that will be released very soon. So stay tuned. You definitely want to be
Unleash
locked in. Unleashed.
while we unseal the
While we
history behind
unseal.
them.
You see, this is why we need the co-host
Yeah,
for those quick moments like that.
I'm
Thank
telling
you.
you, you gotta have a quick
What would I
save.
do without you?
I just clearly don't know. We
I
clearly
would
don't
be
know.
fine. But amen. All right. So thank you.
Production.
Production
Come get
team.
him.
Listen, but we appreciate you all. Stay locked in. So much is going to be unsealed in the future, and you don't want to miss a beat. All right. Thank you again for your time, your effort, your smile, and you unsealing your story for us.
Those are some lame compliments, but okay, we're gonna take them right now because all we need to know-
I'm about to agree with the people of the city of Sunrise that your
I'm
answers.
worth it.
Your answers we're not liking. We don't like your answers, ma'am.
Oh,
Let's try that again. I just gave you so many adjectives.
but you know what?
Throughout this entire thing.
But you are going to see me in all the episodes, and you're gonna see it's worth it.
I guess you have to subscribe to find out, all right?
All right.
So we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you. Peace. Have a beautiful night.